Hey Hickok 45, look what I've got. Is that a beauty or what? You guessed it, FAL, the Israeli version. Yes, during the Cold War, this was the right arm of the free world. And we're going to put it through its paces, try it out. 308, 7.62 by 51 NATO. Let's take a few shots with it. What a gorgeous rifle. Oh, what should we shoot? How about a 2-liter? Hey, it works. Let's try a tank. Another 2-liter. Cool. You know, I think a 308 will penetrate a 2-liter. I think it'll even, well, it won't penetrate that hard plate over there, but it might hit it. If I do my part. Sure will. Oh, a flower pot. Flower pots were just made to be shot with Israeli FALs. Don't you think? And so were cans of paint. Whoa! Did I get that gallon jug over there? Okay. Cool, cool. I see a cinder block over there. Yeah. You think you're damn. Nice. Ooh, she's pretty fast. 308 is difficult to handle full auto, right? So yes, we have an Israeli FAL here. And they're very distinctive looking, as you can tell if you were not familiar with them. And you know the FAL, at least by sight. You've got your wooden forearm and everything, and they're just a different look. They're really good looking guns. To me, they are I don't know, maybe the best looking FAL. I don't know. FALs are FALs, but let's put it down over here and let you take a look at it. And well, if you're not familiar with the FAL, we'll kind of introduce you to it, I guess. I'm not an expert in them. I owned one actually back about, when was it, 15 years ago. Didn't have it a long time, but it was a big, heavy rifle, and I fell in love with the M1A. And then I traded the FAL for something. And that's part of the reason that a lot of countries got away from the FAL. It is a very large rifle. It's very long, heavy. And I believe the Israelis discovered during the war of, about 73, the Yom Kippur War, that it was a little bit sensitive to sand too. And they moved to the Galil, the M16, and made a transition during that period. But anyway, these are great old rifles, and there are so many of you, probably a lot of people collect these and shoot them. They they came around in the early 50s, 1950s, post World War II. This is the battle rifle. Over 90 countries actually use this thing. A couple of million of them developed since 1954, and so they're just extremely popular. The FAL, in English, that stands for Light Automatic Rifle. Now, all of them were not select fire. Most of them were, I think, but a lot of countries decided and determined that they were difficult to control, just like the M14 in full auto fire. And so most of the value in it is in semi-automatic fire. In fact, I think I read some countries actually suspended training with these rifles in full auto mode. And because, I mean, it's a 308. That is a powerful round. You start touching those things off 15 or 20 in a second. I mean, it's difficult to control. And the gun, the cartridge, really, the long suit, the real value in that thing is the power of that cartridge, the accuracy of it. The 308 is famous for being an accurate cartridge, 7.62 by 51. And so, as far as spraying, it's not quite. Now there's situations where it might be handy, of course, but in a big battle rifle like this, you almost need the BAR, the Browning, the BAR, if you're familiar with that, World War II rifle. That thing is massive. if you've ever held one or seen one. I've actually fired one at the Lucky Gunner machine gun shoot, I guess it was. It's really heavy, really big. Now it, in 30-06, which is essentially about the same cartridge, you can handle it, you know, full auto. But most of these rifles, they're difficult to control. It's going to rise on you. Okay, as I said, this is the Israeli version, and it's the metric. These things come in inch pattern or metric, and there's so much information on them. It's so complex, the world of the FAL. I recommend you go to falfiles.com if you want to learn a lot about these, because you know, those guys there on the forum, they study and talk about these. You can learn anything you want about them, how to acquire one, build one. This is a kit, came as a parts kit. The owner, a local viewer, really nice guy, offered to lend us this. And he got it. It was bought as a parts kit. I'm not sure he did. It was back in the 90s at Knob Creek, actually. And so he put it together. Originally, he said it had a barrel that was not lugged for a bayonet or threaded, because it was during the assault weapons ban, you know, where we were all so safe right during that 10-year period. So in the 90s, but then recently he put a different barrel on it that has the lug. Now that it's legal, it's a much more dangerous rifle now because it has a bayonet lug and it has a threaded barrel. So, but it's a good-looking gun, and he's been about trying to, you know, acquire like paraphernalia or the accessories. Some of the web gear here is Israeli. The practice grenade, which you might see in a video, who knows, and and this attachment, this the launcher. Sight mechanism, spigot is called too, I think. You take the flash hider off and then put that on something. We may get in and do some of that, but pretty neat gun. Metric. All right, 308 7.62 by 51. Let's see if it will shoot some more. I love this cartridge. You know, if you shoot this cartridge, you can't help but like it. And while it is a powerful round, this gun is pretty heavy. So it really does absorb the recoil pretty well. Let's take a couple more shots with it. All right. I expected it to kick more, but it really doesn't do too badly. And I think I've got the sights where they need to be. I'm going to try that little piece of cinder block over there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've got it shooting right where I like it. I had to move the rear sight a little bit. I'll have to apologize to the owner if he had it shooting where he liked it. I don't know, but it was shooting to the left for me. Yeah, feels good to me. Got a nice trigger, I'll have to say. I'm going to shoot that big old tank over there, propane tank hanging. You can hear the sound. That's funny. Let's try this 2-liter here. That other one. Wow, he attacked. How about a 12-ouncer? How about let's miss a 12-ouncer? There we go. Oh, you have to use the sights. I see a 12 or a gallon jug. Wow, took that out, didn't it? Nice. You know what, that piece of cinder block that fell off early, thought it was getting away, but it really did not. Yeah. Yeah, what'd I tell ya? Shot under it. Okay. Oh man, nice gun. This is a good looking gun, I have to say. You know, you have a well, now that I've got it hot, let me show you how you field strip one of these things. You just push up on. Now they're different. I think this one, the Israeli version, you push up on this and you break it down like a shotgun. How's that for cool? Yep. You know what I forgot? You got to cock it. There you go. And then you do that. There we go. And you pull the bolt out, which might be warmish. There you go. There it is. And that way it's so simple to access from behind. You pull the cover off there. pretty simple in design, isn't it? It's cool. And there's your gas piston that bumps against the bolt, of course. You know, it's a short stroke gas operated rifle. I guess I won't take that out. You just turn, ouch, ooh, that is hot. I definitely won't take that out. You depress the button and you turn that and it comes out, and the operating rod, or the gas rod rather, gas piston that is in there, you know, this slides out. Looks a little bit like maybe an AK piston, and not quite the same. But it slides out, and then you have access to clean all of that. It's a pretty interesting and simple design, like most military rifles need to be, right? It is a big rifle, it's a heavy rifle. These were, in fact, speaking of that, some of them came in heavier barrels. So you had the heavy barrel version, you have the light barrel version, as they call it. Most of the heavy barrel versions have a bipods. I understand they're really a battle rifle. You know, get down, you can shoot more, shoot longer before the barrel overheats, and that's the main reason for a bigger barrel, right? It absorbs a little more recoil too, but you can shoot it longer before it heats up to the point where it you know, affects accuracy and that kind of thing, right? So these are classics. That's the attraction, of course, for me and for many of you, is a rifle like this, a firearm that is used in so many countries for a good while. It just makes it interesting. And close her up, see? Just like a shotgun. How's that for cool? I like that. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gun. As I say, this one was built from a kit, and but you know, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, adopted it. It was after the Yom Kippur War, when they realized, what somebody reading, it was kind of interesting, they were discovered, some of the soldiers were picking up AKs, you know, from the dead enemy during that, and found they liked them, and they would handle the sand, you know, better than these rifles, and were smaller, I guess lighter, you know, somewhat lighter, shorter and everything. So, you know, same old story. You can't hate an AK, right? So that led to the change there, where the Israel adopted the M16. I guess, I don't know all my history on that. I think we probably gave them a lot of those M16s, right? It's one reason they used those for a period of time. And then also the Galil. Of course, the Galil, I had a Galil in 7.62 by 51, back when they didn't cost a fortune. And they're heavy as well. Not quite as long, but they're heavy. But you got that AK basic design in a Galil, that action, and you know, where you can stuff them with mud or sand or anything and they still work. But these old things got the job done, and they're great shooters. They really are. You cannot hate that 308. Oh, I made a run. I might shoot a couple more shots. Keep it warm. I hate for it to cool off. I like this. And like I said, the owner has tried to add, you know, some original accessories to it. You notice, you know, the writing on some of this. This was not made, you know, for Walmart. You can tell if you can see that. These things, he's picking up original pieces, and you know, gradually, you know, maybe you can read that. I'm still working on my foreign languages, but anyways, it's kind of neat. That's one of the interesting things about collecting this kind of thing, firearms in general. You tend to learn more about history, you learn more about other countries, and as well as shoot some interesting firearms, right? Let's take a couple more shots with this thing. Oh yeah, especially since 7.62 by 51 is so cheap, right? If you can find it for under $1 a round, you're doing pretty well these days, aren't you? Oh man, I've shot so much. We got our watermelon we'll pick off before we quit here. Oh, let's get this 2-liter. Oh. Oh man, let me go back over there. I just really like this trigger too. Feels good. Feels really good. Who else we have here that I had missed out on here? I don't want to miss anybody. I don't want to neglect any targets. Yeah, I'm going to try that piece of cinder block over there, another shot or two. I see those pieces are too large. Yeah. we go. Oop, click. Oh, we had a little malfunction. Okay. Popped him right where I wanted. I think I've got the gas system set where it needs to be. You know, you can adjust the gas system, put him on safe, and we're firing some ammo here. I've not had any trouble with it. It's just to show you what we're shooting. You know, this is one of those you can find sometimes, right? I'm not even sure where that stuff is made, to tell you the truth. But it tends to do okay. I've got some American Eagle here if we get to it, if we need it. But what's loaded in these magazines is the CBC stuff, okay? And so we're hot, so I'm going to, well, let's leave it hot for a second and lying there. It's on safe. Notice your safety here, and you just push down for fire, okay? Your mag release right there, a little bit like an M14. You know, your little clip. You take your metric magazine, just has a little bit of lip on it there. The inch pattern FALs have more like a good quality M14 magazine, if you know what I'm talking about there. And so I don't know, if people who really study these guns and collect them, they'll probably tell you the inch pattern guns have some advantages over the metric guns. I don't know. I don't know enough about them. They're just all I know made pretty well, and they work, and that's the main thing. So let me take out this watermelon before we quit here. You think I should put the band in? No, let's not do that. All right. The FN FAL Israeli version. Primarily it was adopted for this purpose. Fruit killing. Oh, that's nice. It's hard, doesn't it? Let's take a couple of quick shots here in the dirt. Well, emptied it anyway. You notice it has a little jump. You can tell a little bit more about it in the video there than me, because I'm behind it. But think about cutting that thing loose, full auto, with 20 rounds just coming out of there fast, and you can see why it maybe wasn't the best idea for every soldier to shoot it that way a lot in most situations. And a lot of militaries have gone through that, and us in Vietnam with the M16 and going to a 3-round burst there, eventually realizing just a lot of rounds were thrown out there, maybe unnecessarily. And then at least with the M16 it wasn't a big recoil issue, and with this you're getting a lot of muzzle rise because of the power. And so you, in a lot of cases, would be wasting the ammo. So, like I said, they really quit training. A lot of countries did, militaries, to shoot in full auto. And then again, you can find these in all sorts of variations. Really, I recommend you study it if you're going to buy one of these and get into it, because there's a varying quality. Some of them, of course, they're all anything you're going to buy. Generally, it's going to be fixed so that it can only be semi-automatic, but really study it, because there's so much out there, so much. I don't know that this would serve you better than an M1A, or one of the modern 308s, but the fact that it has so much history associated with it, you can't hate it, can you? It's just like I say, this was used in so many different countries. Most of the NATO countries, I believe, adopted this. This was their rifle, and except for the United States, we were one of the countries that didn't. We went with the M14, and I read that there was some kind of agreement. We were working on a light 30 caliber cartridge, in the, I guess it was in the the 50s, to replace the 30-06, and there are all kinds of cartridges that were come up with, and variations of this in the late 40s or the earliest part of the 50s, and of course it evolved into this, the FAL. But I read that Churchill, there's some conjecture that Churchill and Truman reached some agreement that that the other NATO countries could use our 7.62 by 51 cartridge we had come up with, you know, for the FAL, you know, but we were not going to adopt the FAL, and I don't know. But anyway, FN doesn't really make any junk. They don't come up with any junk. If you know much about FN in Belgium, and they've always produced great weapons, great firearms, and then even the variants of it they're just good guns. And this is the Israeli version. As I said, it's a good-looking gun. It looks, I think, again, I don't know everything about these guns, but this one looks, to me, I don't know, it's more interesting than most of the other variants. You may know more about it. You may know that there's some limitations, or you know, to this particular version versus some others. But it's a good gun, and it shoots that hard-hitting 308 7.62 by 51 round. And it has so much history. Again, known as the right arm of the free world, you know, during the Cold War era, and that's what it was called. All of these FALs, great guns, great guns. We'll probably do some more with it. We're glad you come out today and help us play with it a little bit. Life is good.